Hello, my name is Kevin Sneddon, and today I'll be interviewing my roommate Mike about my topic, violent video games and how they affect one's behavior. Alright, what kind of experience do you have playing violent video games?
My friends and I, we all grew up playing video games like Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto, which is all rated M and considered violent.
Would you say you play these games often or not that much?
I played them much more often when I was younger than I do today, but I could say I still do play these games a considerable amount.
And do you think these violent video games have affected your behavior in any way, maybe made you more aggressive or just in any way possible affected?
Me personally, no. Maybe I'll get annoyed at the game or pissed off at that game, but I won't take the anger outside of the video game, and I won't bring that anger to anyone or to anyone else, I should say.
Now, do you think that other people could be negatively affected by these video games?
I think it's possible. I feel like a very small percentage of people shouldn't are usually raised to not be persuaded that easily and to give in to negative influences such as that.
Now, I've been talking about all the negatives. Do you think anyone could be positively impacted by video games or benefit from them in any way?
It increases reaction time, motor skills. It could help increase someone's memory. Personally, I think playing video games is much better than watching television because your brain is activated. It's not just sitting there useless. So I think, yeah, video games can positively influence someone, especially for someone who is lonely or depressed. It helps people cope with stuff and get through hard times.
Alright. And do you think there's also a big social aspect to playing video games too, like with your friends, as you said, as you were a child?
Yeah, there's a huge social aspect. A bunch of people will fall in love with one game, and then everyone will become better friends by talking about it or playing it together, and everyone just enjoys their time together when they all have a common interest, such as that game.
Now, I'm sure you've seen articles that link violent video games to mass shootings, such as Columbine. Do you think that these connections have any relevance, or do you think that these articles pin the blame on video games?
I feel like there shouldn't be an article strictly about saying how the Columbine shooter played violent video games and that's a reason why. You have to look at every aspect of that person's life and see if that really is the reason why, because there's a lot of stuff that could go into something as terrible as that.
Now, a meta-analysis done by Christopher Ferguson found that many studies that pertain to violent video games and how they affect one's behavior suffer from many problems and biases. Why do you think this is happening? Do you think there's an unconscious bias in America against video games, or what are your thoughts?
What do you mean by that question? Could you break that down for me?
Yeah, sure. The study found that many research studies on the topic had a lot of issues with research, and that there's also something called publication bias that's happening, which means studies with a positive result, meaning linking video games to violent behavior and aggressiveness, is more likely to be published over a negative result, one linking or not linking violent video games to violent behavior.
I feel like saying that violent video games is an easy route to take when finding an excuse for something. Again, you got to look at everything. I think just because a lot of people don't like video games and they see it as terrible and stuff like that, there is a bias. And I think that a lot of these research study groups should be placed into it and not just one person saying it's because of video games. There should be many studies that all lead with the same information, and that would be the only way that could prove it to me.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. That's all the questions I have to ask you.